The dawn came softly over the valley, spreading gold and silver light across a field of frost. Mist drifted lazily between the trees, and the air was so still that even the birds seemed to wait for something sacred. From that silence emerged a figure, tall, strong, and painted with the symbols of his people. Tawa, a Navajo warrior, stood barefoot upon the cold earth, his tomahawk hanging at his side. His eyes, dark as storm clouds, searched the horizon for meaning. He had walked far, guided not by roads, but by whispers of the wind and the quiet pull of fate. There, by a lonely wooden cabin, he saw her. A little girl, no older than 6, stood barefoot in the frost. Her orange dress was thin against the morning chill, her golden hair glowing in the rising sun. She clasped her hands together, eyes wide, not with fear but with wonder. When she saw him, she whispered, "Are you an angel?" Tawa paused, his breath misting in the cold air. "No, little one," he said softly. "I am no angel." She blinked up at him, tilting her head. "You came from the light. That's where angels come from." The faintest smile curved his lips. "The sun rises for all," he said. Her gaze shifted toward the cabin door. "Mama's inside," she murmured. "She's sleeping, but she won't wake up." Tawa's heart grew heavy. He knew what that meant. Stepping closer, he laid a gentle hand on the door and entered. Inside, silence reigned. The woman on the bed, pale, still and cold, had met her final rest. He whispered a prayer in his native tongue, asking the Great Spirit to guide her safely to the stars. When he returned outside, the little girl was waiting, hope trembling in her eyes. "She's gone, little one," he said softly. Her small shoulders quivered, and tears spilled down her cheeks, quiet and endless. Tawa knelt before her, his voice calm and steady. "You were brave," he said. "Your mother would be proud." The girl nodded weakly. "Mama said Daddy would come back. But he never did." Tawa looked toward the trees, vast, dark, and endless. "Then you must come with me. It is not safe here." "Will Mama be angry if I leave her?" "No," he said gently. "She would want you to live." The girl hesitated, then took his hand. "Okay." And so they walked into the forest together, the mighty warrior and the lost child, bound by tragedy and something deeper neither yet understood. The frost melted beneath the rising sun as they journeyed through the woods. The air smelled of pine and smoke, a sign of men not far ahead. Tawa studied the tracks in the earth, boots heavy and careless. The same men who had attacked the cabin. Clara, as the girl introduced herself, followed close behind, her tiny hand gripping the edge of his belt. "Are you going to find the bad men?" she asked softly. "If the Great Spirit wills it," he replied. "Will they hurt us again?" "Not while I breathe," he said. They reached a stream that shimmered in the light. Tawa filled a pouch and gave it to her. "Drink," he said. She obeyed, then looked up at him. "Why did you help me?" He paused, then answered, "Because once someone helped me." "Who?" "A woman," he said quietly. "She showed me kindness when I had none left in my heart, and she paid for it with her life." Clara looked down. "Mama would have liked you," she whispered. Tawa smiled faintly, "And I think she would be proud of your courage." They rested for a while, and when they walked again, the forest opened into plains. From a high ridge, smoke rose in the distance, small campfires, flickering beneath the sky. Clara pointed. "Is that where they are?" "Yes," Tawa said. "Will you fight them?" "If I must. I don't want anyone to die." "Neither do I," he said. "But sometimes, to protect life, a man must stand against death." That night they camped beneath the stars. Tawa built a small fire, its glow painting their faces in gold. Clara sat beside him, her eyes reflecting the flames. "Tawa," she asked, "when you talk to the sky, who are you talking to?" "To those who came before," he said. "My ancestors. They watch from the stars." She smiled sadly. "Do you think Mama's there too?" He nodded. "Yes, she is with them now, watching over you." She looked up at the sky and whispered something only the stars could hear. Then she fell asleep, curled beside the warmth of the fire. But Tawa did not sleep. The wind had changed, it carried danger. He heard it before he saw it. Hoofbeats distant but closing in. He moved fast, lifting Clara into his arms and slipping into the shadows of the rocks. Moments later, 3 riders appeared on the ridge. One dismounted, kneeling to touch the ashes of their fire. "Someone's been here," he growled. "Tracks lead east." Another spat. "That little brat's still alive. We find her, we finish it." Tawa's grip on his tomahawk tightened. Rage burned in his chest, but he stayed silent until they rode off into the distance. When it was safe, Clara whispered, "Why do they want me?" He looked at her gently. "Because men like that fear what they cannot control, innocence, hope, kindness. But they will not take you." By dawn, they reached the edge of a vast canyon. The river below shimmered like silver. Smoke from the riders' camp curled in the distance, the final trail. Tawa set Clara down on a flat stone. "You will stay with my people," he said. "They will keep you safe. But first I must face those who wronged you." Her eyes filled with tears. "You'll go alone?" "Yes. What if you don't come back?" He brushed a strand of hair from her face. "Then remember what I told you, and the sun rises for all. Even when you cannot see me, I will be with you." She swallowed her tears and nodded. "Promise?" He smiled. "I promise." Then he turned, walking toward the smoke and toward justice. The wind carried the eagle's cry above him, a sign that the spirits watched. Tawa, once a man bound by sorrow, now carried something sacred, the trust of a child, the hope of redemption. The warrior who had lost his purpose had found it again in the eyes of a little girl, and as he vanished into the light of the rising sun, the land seemed to whisper his name, a name that would soon be remembered not as a ghost of war, but as a guardian of innocence. If this story touched your heart, if you felt the bond between the warrior and the child, the pain of loss and the beauty of courage, then don't let the journey end here. Subscribe to our channel for more emotional, powerful, and cinematic Western stories, tales of bravery, redemption, and the human spirit. Every like, share, and subscription helps us bring more stories, like The Warrior and the Lost Girl, to life, stories that remind us that even in the darkest moments, there's always a light worth following.